You're watching CBS 8 Mornings at 6.
New this morning, all lanes are back open on northbound 5 in San Ysidro following a deadly crash that happened just after 11:30 last night near Dairy Mart Road.
At least one person is dead. It's still not clear what led up to this crash, but we do know these two cars, these mashed up cars, were involved, and one of them even caught fire. A SIG alert was issued for about 2 hours, but again, all lanes are now back open. Now to a weather impact alert here on this Wednesday as this winter storm is arriving. So glad you're with us at 6 a.m. I'm Eric Connors.
And I'm Chris Groh. Let's get straight to meteorologist Evan Irani for a check on the forecast. And Evan, already coming down in some spots.
Yeah, we're already seeing that rain develop. Wet roads as you head out for the morning commute. Take a look at the green all across San Diego County. That's light to moderate rain. Nothing too moderate, I'd say. We're looking at the heavier showers coming through tomorrow. So over the course of the day, we're getting this kind of initial brunt through the morning. Through the midday stretch, we'll get those pulses, just kind of quick periods of lighter showers, and those will continue all the way through the nighttime stretch as well. So things are light for now. Looking up to about Santa Barbara, LA, things are also very, very light, more a drizzle or a mist out there. We are actually getting the brunt of it when we look across Southern California. So over the next 12 hours, this is what we can expect. There may even be an opportunity there for a little bit of sun to peek through between about 10 a.m. and noon at a 50% shot at that rain. Chances start to increase heavily as we get toward about 2 to 4 p.m., 80 to 90% chance for rain, which means that both the morning and evening commute could be impacted by today's rain event. Again, tomorrow, more moderate to heavy rain on the way. So we'll detail the next about 72 hours for you coming up in just a bit.
All right, thank you, Evan. Well, this morning we have an update on a story that we've been following here at CBS 8. El Cajon City Council members approved an anti-sanctuary measure last night.
This measure will allow the city to cooperate with U.S. Immigrations and Custom Enforcement. CBS 8's Regina Yarita live outside of El Cajon City Hall now with more on what this means for the community there. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Eric and Chris. That's right. After a long and heated meeting during the city council meeting in El Cajon, the council actually moved forward with a measure that absolves police officers from getting punished if cooperating with federal authorities such as ICE. Now, yesterday we did hear very strong opinions. Take a listen to some of that sound.
America's in the process of putting America first again. Some people are not going to like that.
This is one step to help our officers when it comes to violent criminals and getting them off our streets.
Now, this is the third time the city council has met on the issue in the past few months. Councilmember Steve Goebel was once again the swing vote. During the first time the measure was introduced, Goebel voted against it, but this time he voted in favor of the revised draft. In a 3-2 vote, the measure passed. The resolution was prompted by President Trump's border czar, Tom Homan, threatening jail time for anyone who doesn't cooperate with mass deportations. So yesterday, the debate centered around El Cajon's cooperation with federal immigration enforcement. It now lets police contact U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents if they arrest someone who had previously been convicted of committing an aggravated felony and had been deported and had returned illegally. Wells and Goebel stressed that the resolution would not go beyond what already is permitted under the California state law known as Senate Bill 54. The resolution also states that El Cajon is not a sanctuary city. Now, Pedro Rios of the American Friends Service Committee voiced opposition to the amended resolution, questioning why it was being pushed despite community opposition, saying, quote, they should listen to their constituents and reject this anti-immigration measure. So back out here, it's still unclear if it will take effect immediately. That is something we're trying to confirm, but this measure was passed last night in El Cajon. For now, I'll send it back to you.
Regina, thank you. Investigators say one of San Diego's top drug dealers allegedly used an anti-drug nonprofit to hide his illegal dealings. Algernon Lundy is in federal court custody after he was arrested on drug charges while on probation. A new search warrant claims he used a charity to launder fentanyl profits. Education Support Center, the name of Lundy's nonprofit based in Spring Valley, supposedly aimed to help people get off drugs. But court records say that from January to November of 2023, Lundy and his wife used the nonprofit's bank account to deposit nearly $190,000, believed to be proceeds from drug sales, again, according to court documents. These records saying Lundy and his wife also used local casinos to try to hide his profits, apparently exchanging nearly $100,000 in cash for casino credits at Harrah's and Hamul Casino. This morning, we are learning new details about the two people who were killed in a deadly crash on Interstate 8 near Grossmont Center in La Mesa. They've been identified as 79-year-old James Zelina and his wife, 77-year-old Rosa Lynn. Monday night, the two were sitting in their stopped car on the eastbound 8 with their lights off when they were rear-ended by an SUV. It's not clear why their car was stopped. A 34-year-old woman and her 4-year-old son were in the SUV. They are expected to be okay.
And this just in, inflation worsened last month. According to a new report from the Labor Department, the Consumer Price Index increased 3% in January from a year ago. That's up from 2.9% in December. Now, we'll have to see how the markets react and what the Federal Reserve is saying about interest rates to combat inflation coming up later this hour. Now, here at home, local leaders are on high alert and urging everyone to take precautions for the incoming rain. The city has enacted their Storm Patrol here in San Diego, a group of 300 staff members who go out to monitor more than 46,000 storm drains. Crews have also done street sweeping, put up no parking signs in low-lying areas, put levees in place, and are planning road closures for areas that normally flood, like in Mission Valley. The city's storm channels are also being monitored. After last year's storms, the city of San Diego performed emergency maintenance for 18 miles of its stormwater channels.
Make sure that we're as prepared as possible, that we don't have any clogged drains or any areas, and everything's clear and at full capacity for when the rain hits.
Now, also happening, you remember some of these brush fires we had. CAL FIRE taking steps to prevent mudslides now because of them, those burn areas in the recent Border and Lilac fires. Meanwhile, both the city and county are offering sandbags to people who need them. You can find sandbag locations and more storm-related safety tips at CBS8.com. Just go ahead and click on this story.
So, Evan, technically it's beginning now in some parts?
Oh, yeah, it's wet out there pretty much as we speak. Right outside of our studio, we got wet ground out there. So countywide, we're expecting today to be that day of light showers pretty much all day long. But don't underestimate those light showers, because if we hold on to a steady day full of light showers in San Diego, we're still looking at totals coming in around 3/4 of an inch of rain up around North County, 1/2 inch down towards San Diego. So it's just going to be full of them through the day. There's an opportunity maybe between 10 a.m. and noon to see those clouds break apart, a little bit of sun peeking through, but it's going to stay unsettled even for that window. Showers may turn to a more drizzle format. And then as we get toward 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., that chance jumps to 80–90%, which means that that evening commute is going to be impacted as well. We're calling this 2 distinct waves of rain coming our way. First one is taking place as we speak. Second one is going to come with this darker green and yellow that we see building for tomorrow. So we're going to see it for a quick burst tomorrow morning. And then in particular, the heaviest rain that we see in San Diego County is going to come late Thursday night into early Friday. And you see that as that yellow and darker green tones pass overhead. By the time we get to Friday afternoon, Friday evening, showers have almost completely subsided, and they will then take us into a dry upcoming weekend, which is a plus side if you're trying to adjust any plans for Valentine's Day. You can maybe move that outdoor reservation for Friday to Saturday or Sunday instead, where you will enjoy those dry skies. We have a flood watch that is going to take effect Thursday morning. It'll last through Thursday night with the possibility of excessive runoff, flooding of rivers, creeks, and streams, and poor drainage. You can partially be responsible for that poor drainage if you're not making sure that your storm drains in front of your house are clear. Remember, if you have any bins, trash bins, do not be placing them up against those storm drains. Let that area be clear for all that runoff to move where it needs to. Now, this is a live look outside. We're at 57 degrees. Winds are pretty light out of the south at 5 miles per hour, and pressure's still dropping as we head through the next several hours. Let's take a look at what we can expect as far as traffic goes. These are your drive times outside. So far, I'd say the biggest impact is going to absolutely be wet roads. Practice defensive driving, slow down your speeds if you need to, and remember, if you start to see the pooling and ponding on the roads, you should not be going through those areas where you do not know how deep that water is. 5 southbound, 78 westbound, 52 westbound. Volume is still very light, looking good on the morning commute. Taking a look at your border wait times outside, it's a 65-minute wait at the San Ysidro Port of Entry. Otay Mesa Port of Entry is an 80-minute wait.